Hi, I'm Andy, the host of the Secure Dad podcast. Thank you for joining me for this episode. This show was all about the situational awareness mistakes that we're making on an everyday basis. It was really easy for me to write this episode because these are the mistakes that I am making. So I wanted to share with you what my shortcomings were and what I was doing to improve those to try to make myself and my family safer. So from here on out, this podcast is actually going to be audio only, but I want you to hang with it because there's a lot of great information that you can use for your everyday life. If you're not familiar with situational awareness, what it is the practice of understanding what is happening in your environment, looking for things that are not quite right, which we call anomalies, and then understanding how those things affect your personal safety or the safety of your family. Now, that's kind of like the family safety version of situational awareness. It's a huge, vast study that can really can consume a lot of your time. I think it's fascinating. I think it's worth understanding. So if you like what you hear today, I want you to like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. You're listening to the Secure Dad podcast. Discover ways to protect yourself and your family at home, in public, and online. Welcome, friend. I'm Andy Murphy, the creator of the Secure Dad. This podcast serves to help people become proactive in their safety. The information I share on this podcast is for general information purposes only. My goal is to empower you to make safer decisions for yourself and your family, because our safety is our own responsibility. Today, I'm discussing the common mistakes that we can make with situational awareness. We'll identify them and then work to solve the issues so that we can be safer every day. All of that and more ahead on the Secure Dad podcast. Doxing is scary, and it can affect all of us. It's when somebody publishes your private information like your name, address, phone numbers, work history, and a whole lot more. The easiest way for a doxer to get your information is to buy it from a sketchy people search site. Fortunately, Delete Me is here to help. With the Delete Me family plan, you can take charge of the privacy settings for everyone in your family. That's right, any family member 18 years and older can now be protected with one plan. This includes individual data sheets on each member, so you can get a detailed look at how your family's data is being removed from the internet. Go to joindeleteme.com/dad. There you'll get 20% off a privacy plan when using the code DAD at checkout. Rest easy knowing your loved one's information can be protected from doxing. See why I find Delete Me essential to my family's privacy at joindeleteme.com/dad and use promo code DAD to get 20% off today. Delete Me is a sponsor of the Secure Dad podcast. I'm excited about the initial success of my latest ebook, Home Security for First-Time Homeowners. It's available now exclusively at thesecuredad.com. This 12-page guide offers new home buyers key insights to securing their new home. Plus, there is a 2-page checklist to help you track your success. I share everything that I wish I had known when I bought my first house. For more information, check on the link in the show notes or go to thesecuredad.com. Before we get going, I hope you enjoyed the new theme music for the podcast. It's actually AI generated. I used Suno AI to create that song. With only a few words, this AI platform was able to create an instrumental song that is unique to the prompt that I entered, and quite honestly, it sounds like the other themes that I have used for the podcast in the past. I've experimented with a few other songs that I might use later, but I like this one, and I hope that you do too. Today on the show, I wanted to talk to you about situational awareness, but from the perspective of the mistakes that we can be making. I make mistakes with this all the time, and my ability to learn from my mistakes is what makes me a better, safer person, and I kind of want to pass that process on to you, so let's explore this together. If you see yourself in any of these mistakes, it is okay. You are human, you get tired, and you get distracted. It happens. Again, I've made all these mistakes, and that's why it was so easy for me to write this episode. First off, let's remember the old adage of not jumping to conclusions. The best way that we can be aware of what's going on and to understand any threats is to remember the rule of 3. Generally speaking, you need to be able to see 3 pre-event indicators in order to make your decision. You don't need to jump the gun when you see one odd thing, or you might see 2 things and then just assume that you'll find the third one later. You are really looking for those 3 pre-event indicators to prove that you understand the intent of the person that you are watching and that things are about to go south. There are instances where you can jump to action just after seeing one thing. For example, if you are a guard at the bank and the first time you see a person is when they walk through the door carrying a shotgun, well, that's the point that you need to act. Another thing to consider is that once you see 3 pre-event indicators, that's when a decision needs to happen. Don't wait for a 4th indicator, because at that point it might be too late. For civilians like me, if you see one pre-event indicator that makes you feel uncomfortable, it's completely fine for you to leave the environment. You have no responsibility other than to protect yourself and your family. So if something makes you uncomfortable, it's okay to leave. Just don't take any action beyond that based on less than 3 indicators. A mistake that people make frequently with situational awareness and with personal safety in general is that we think we can multitask. Now, I won't spend a whole lot of time on this topic today because I've done a lot on the myth of multitasking, but it boils down to the fact that our brain cannot cognitively handle more than one thing at a time. You may think that you're good at multitasking. It most likely means that you're good at starting and stopping multiple tasks frequently. And that is a good skill, please don't get me wrong. But you can't sit here and say, I'm good at multitasking, I can text and drive. There's going to be a few people in your zip code today who are going to get into a wreck because they thought that they could text and drive at the same time. And we all know that doesn't work. You also cannot outsource your personal safety to multitasking. You can't FaceTime your friend and walk down the street and then at the same time be able to catch 2 to 3 pre-event indicators that somebody is going to mug you. It just can't happen. Your brain can't process 2 things simultaneously and do them well. So my point here is to make sure that when you're out in public that you are freeing up your brain so that you can see any potential threats that may exist in your environment. The big mistake that most of us make, including myself, is thinking that we are Jason Bourne. There's a great scene in the first movie where Jason is sitting in a diner and he breaks down the entire environment based on a few key observations. This is a really cool scene, but it's also a common trick that Hollywood writers use. Scenes like that exist to demonstrate a really complex topic in a compressed time to move the plot of the movie along. It's a writing trick. It's not reality. We can't just look at one instance of a person, whether it is their clothes, their behavior, their lack of behavior, and assume that we know everything about them. Yes, if you do see somebody walking into a bank with a shotgun, it's a pretty clear indicator that things are about to go bad. They're either going to rob the place or harm somebody in the bank. But in the same vein, if you notice somebody at the grocery store, and then you see them again at the gas station down the street, that does not mean that you can automatically assume that you were under surveillance by a nation-state. What's most likely happened here is that the person is getting their groceries and gas on the way home, just like you and a million other people. So don't assume that you can just look at somebody for 2 seconds and fully understand everything about this person and predict what they're going to do next. Now, the last thing that I want to mention in this podcast is a lack of action. Situational awareness is a great tool for keeping yourself and your family safe. But if you remember, there's a simple math equation that we must keep in mind in order to really make this work for us. And the math equation is B plus A equals D. You've most likely heard me talk about this before because it's so simple. B stands for baseline, and simply put, that is the typical behavior you expect to find in an environment. The baseline for a library is quiet with people reading. Maybe you hear some clicking of typing on a computer and maybe a phone buzzing, but that's just about it. A stands for anomaly. The anomaly in the library is somebody talking loudly or slamming books down on the table or setting the place on fire. D stands for decision, and this is where people can get messed up. If you were in this library where we're running our scenario here, and somebody is being loud and throwing books and all of a sudden takes out a lighter and tries to light a pile of books on fire, well, you have a decision to make. The decision at this point is to either leave or try to extinguish the fire. Many people will spend a lot of time observing and they will notice the oddities, but they won't do anything about it. Awareness is useless unless you decide to act. You can't go through your life being really observant and then not doing anything about it. Don't be one of those people you see in security footage who watches somebody get hurt and then gets hurt themselves. Recently, there was a video released from a subway platform in New York City where a man went and punched women on the platform. He starts from one side of the platform and punches every woman that he sees, and no one reacts significantly to stop him. The last woman in the clip is on her phone and she is wearing headphones. She had no idea that this man had punched 3 women before getting to her, and unfortunately, she takes the worst hit. I would like to think that if she were paying attention, she would have at least tried to escape to avoid getting hurt. These are only some of the mistakes that I have seen myself make in my study and pursuit of situational awareness, but if you want to sharpen your skills, I highly suggest the Human Behavior podcast from Greg Williams and Brian Marin. They both have the fantastic ability to take something very complex and break it down and make it easy for you to understand and implement in your everyday life. Well, that concludes this episode of the Secure Dad podcast for today. Thank you, friend, for listening. Take back your privacy and personal data with help from Delete Me. Get 20% off a privacy plan when using the code DAD at checkout. There's a link in today's show notes. Get your copy of Home Security for First-Time Homeowners exclusively at thesecuredad.com. You can get started at the link in the show notes. If you'd like for your child to have a smartphone, but not access to the whole entire internet, consider a TrueMe phone. My family uses one all the time. Use code TheSecureDad at checkout for $50 off a phone of your choice. If you'd like to know more about The Secure Dad, join me on Instagram and X. My username for both platforms is TheSecureDad. And of course, my website is available to you 24/7 at thesecuredad.com. I'm Andy Murphy, reminding you that our safety is our own responsibility.